All right. Welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for taking time and being my guest. I appreciate it.
I'm glad to be here. It's very nice. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So the first thing I want to start out asking you basically is you have this amazing film, and what inspired you to want to make the film and feature it on Ed Edmond and Basile?
Well, it's very interesting. It's a New Orleans film, right? And I have spent quite a few years now documenting musicians and performers in New Orleans. And along the way, I made a film, my last film, about one of the greatest pianists in American music history, Ellis Marsalis Jr. The film premiered at Doc NYC in 22, and that became sort of an into this world. And in a roundabout way, without Ellis, who was very inspirational to me in many ways, I wouldn't have come across these two wonderful composers and their life story and their music. Just moved me so much. I felt I really, really had to make a film about them. So, and particularly Basile Barès' story is so moving that he had that strength in him to use his artistry to create a sense of self and put that out into the world. I mean, Basile, of course, being the enslaved composer of the two. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. And from what I saw with the film, like Basile was born in the slavemen, and for anyone who goes to see your film, like that that must have been like a really rough rough period going through something like that.
I mean, that's what I meant with I find it very moving. It's kind of incomprehensible to us to think that
Hmm.
he was born into this. And when he was small, he was working in a piano store. The person who owned him had a piano store. And so he was working in this piano store, and somehow the owner, quote unquote owner, discovered that this young boy had a talent. And
Wow.
so he, from what we know, learned how to play piano, read and write, and sheet music, compose. He could write very well, become very educated person who took on a lot of responsibilities and who composed his own music and became a popular musician in town while still being enslaved. And that is the thing that is so hard to comprehend, that that all these things were happening at the same time, and it speaks to his inner strength, I would say. But obviously, I don't know him. I'm hoping. I think that's what it was.
Well, yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh, wow. Okay. And they they both they they both love to make songs, compose songs, and it was definitely their passion. Like they loved making making music. That was their love. That was their passion. And who are some artists you think like that inspired them? Like some artists that they listened to?
Oh, this is such a difficult question. I don't
I
know.
know.
That's really checking on my music history here. I I really don't know. I know that Edmond Dédé. I mean, first of all, one of the things is there is very little documentation about these two composers, right?
Well, yeah,
And
exactly.
the film is trying to, on the one hand, fill that gap, but also um, show what it actually takes to find out anything about the two and about people in that area, in that era. And I mean, Dédé, Edmond Dédé was an opera composer, and he was, I mean, both were extremely sophisticated and very well educated of the music of the times. So whatever was out there in opera music, I'm sure he was familiar with and very inspired by. But I can't really not make
Well, yeah,
any
yeah.
assumptions about this because we don't know. And those oftentimes there is this I don't know answer I have to give, and no, literally nobody knows.
And like by making the film and learning about them, like they both face like a lot of difficult times, a lot of hardships, like being people of color trying to make it as music people posers. And why do you think, in your opinion, why do you think they kept like pushing forward, knowing like all the difficulties that they were going to be facing?
That is such an interesting question. And again, I wish I had an opportunity to speak to them about it, but that's why one of the things that happens in the film is that Oscar Rossignoli, the pianist who plays Basile Barès' music, sort of channels him, and we talk to him about what he as a musician thinks drives a musician to pursue that. And I think I mean, it's an assumption, but I think it's a fair assumption to say that it creates a sense of freedom to be able to create something that is entirely your own. And that's sort of where Oscar was going with it. And I also think that musicians, like all artists, they're driven, they have a special talent, and they're driven to pursue this. And it's kind of the thing you have to do. And it's harder to not do it than to do it. That's my feeling about it. And I think it also opened up opportunities. I mean, Edmond Dédé was very much fiercely competing with other composers of the time, and was successful when he was in Bordeaux for most of his life. I mean, he left New Orleans because he couldn't really achieve the success he wanted there. And then he moved to Bordeaux and had more success, but he was very competitive too. I mean, he was proud of his talent. So, and another thing is you have to make a living. I mean, and if that's
Yeah.
your talent, that's what you use, huh?
Oh no, yeah, exactly. And like being a person who loves music and listens to music, and what is it about their music that that you love? Like what is it about their music that like really makes you like, yeah, this is great. I want to listen to this.
Yeah, I mean, Edmond Dédé's opera, Moi Jeanne, that we're covering in this film it's gorgeous. It's grand opera. The voices, there's several vocalists, and our main singer is just, she has this wonderful range, and it's just such warmth in the tone. And then it's just great opera, just great orchestral music with a lot of different feelings that they're conveying. It's beautifully, and it moves you along a lot. And then with Basile, where was I? Well, I love the piece that we're featuring, which is the one piece that composition that was unpublished, and it has this Carmen type of, the opera Carmen, that kind of rhythm.
Mhm.
It's in there. It's the habanera rhythm, and it's very just kind of, it's almost, you can groove along basically. And then and the other thing that was surprising about it, and what I also liked about his music, the other pieces that they're very happy. They're happy. These are happy tunes, and you're wondering, where did he get that happiness from? That's amazing. And so all of these things make them very appealing to me. And I hope
Ah,
everybody else will enjoy them too. Because one of the things we want is for people to, I mean, we want to open that chapter in music history and get people to listen to these two wonderful composers.
oh yeah. And like, do you, in your opinion, because I know you don't know them, like in like your personal opinion, do you think they inspired a lot of people of color because of everything that they they went through, the hardships and everything else to be at the spots they were in for the music world?
I think during their lifetime they did. I think that they really, I mean, they were part of this community, and they they had an audience, and a big audience that were very respected. And I think that they were very much an inspiration to the people who had the chance to hear them and hear about them. But then there is the sort of the tragedy that since their lifetime, they both died in the very beginning of the 20th century, 1904 or something like that.
Hmm.
Their music has basically been hidden in music history, and a lot of people have missed out on it. And so that inspiration that you're speaking about can come up again now. And so, yes, I think there will be people who will find it very inspiring also now. Yeah. Again, my hope.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And that's so amazing. Like first of all, like you're bringing their songs out, like you're pushing it, you're putting it out there for like a whole new era, a whole new generation of music lovers to listen to them and finally know who these two artists are through other artists like doing their songs and how does that make you feel to see something like that happening?
Oh, it was just such a beautiful experience. And I felt, I mean, first of all, I felt it was a real joy and honor to document this process of getting the
Mhm.
music out. And I thought it was also really gratifying to put these two composers sort of to help and to contribute to bringing them out to the public. And sometimes we felt like, wow, they're in the room with us. And I kind of hope that they get something out of that too. But
Yeah,
so no, they're deceased, but somehow they're somehow with us in that sense. Yeah.
oh yeah, like I personally believe in that kind of stuff, like the spirit realm and so like I mean, if you felt they were there, they probably were. Like I personally believe in that stuff, so
All right, I'll take your word for it.
Uh, what did you love most about making the film?
It's really hard to say, but I love my team. I really love my team. I have a tiny team. I call it a tiny team, and they come through for making this production. And it was just a very creative process. I enjoyed very much coming up with how we can do this. And
Hmm.
I just love working with musicians because I think and performers, they're just great in front of the camera. They come up with things and they're just so you say, can we do this? And they're like, sure. And they're on. And that's so much fun, you know? It was really enjoyable. And then I also really enjoyed this dive into history where you just,
Yeah.
wow, this is what we can find out. This is maybe we could poke here a little and find something. And this one we can't find out at all. And then we start speculating. So when the archives open up, it's like a world on its own. And I really enjoy that.
And like you mentioned, like going back and looking up stuff, research searching. What did what did you learn about making the film? Like you probably learned like by doing like all kind of searches, whether it's on Google or libraries or whatever. Like you must have learned like a lot of new things about their music and then.
I learned a lot about their lives and the world that they lived in. And I spent a lot of time in the archives that they have, literally physical archives, like going to the reading up about them, looking at old photos and that kind of thing. And then, of course, a lot of that takes place online, and a lot of it is also speaking to these experts that we have in the film, and
Mhm.
learning from them what they have found out, right? But yeah, I feel like I mean, the music opened up to me, but also this 19th century New Orleans world opened up in a way. And we don't, I mean, there's a lot of cliches and so about Creole culture, and here it became more reality for me, you know.
So I have to ask, like we're talking about New Orleans. Like, have you ever did the Mardi Gras?
Sure, sure. I've done the Mardi Gras, I've done the Jazz Fest, and all of that. And then I like to do the things that are not so, that are more like the on the day to day, or go into a jazz club when it's off season. That's really great.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of songs do you like listening to? Like, what's on your playlist?
Oh my God, what's on my playlist? You know, talking about jazz clubs, last night I was listening to Cannonball Adderley, really old Autumn Leaves. And then I will listen to Rihanna Diamonds. So I'll give you the mix.
Nice.
And Sly Stone. So it's a broad,
Slice.
yeah,
Yes.
it's a broad range, really. I could spend the day talking about the music I have on my computer and my CDs, and so I still have CDs.
Yeah, I still have them too. I got a CD player. I got like a whole list of CDs. Like that's something I was growing up on. So it it it's hard to get that part out of me. And I mean, of course, I got songs on my laptop and my phone. Like every other person has that now, but like I still like the old school stuff.
And no commercials in between is nice.
Exactly, exactly. What do you think would be your go-to karaoke song if you were gonna do one?
Is you no not another girl, the Beatles.
Oh yeah, okay, okay, nice.
I'm not gonna sing it now though.
Yeah, that's all right. And I guess like the last question I'll ask you basically is where could fans like watch and follow the film and also follow you at?
Well, first of all, um, the film is premiering at the New Orleans Film Festival on October 24th. It's Friday evening, so if you happen to be in the region, come on down. That's the first order of business. And then, yeah, you can find that everything, all other future screenings and festivals will be up on my Instagram, where I've post basically everything that is relevant to me and my film work. And I would say that we will know more about the next screenings after the premiere.
Awesome. Well, it was very nice meeting you and chatting. Thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it.
Very nice chatting with you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Have an amazing day.
All right. You too. Thank you so much. Take